Let's discuss this further with Kadir Ustun. He's the Executive Director of SETA Foundation in Washington, D.C. Kadir Bey, thank you for your time. Firstly, what's your reaction to the U.S. Senate's removal of the conditions of the sale of F-16 fighter jets to Turkey?
Of course, this is a significant development. These senators signaled before that they would place conditions on potential F-16 sales to Turkey. But, you know, Turkey has been using these planes for many decades now. It's a central part of Turkish defense concept. At this point, if the United States refused to sell them to sell F-16s to Turkey, this would have weakened NATO overall. This would have weakened perhaps Turkey's capabilities, and Turkey could have looked at other options, Europeans, but maybe also other countries. And that wouldn't have boded well for the NATO alliance. And as we know, the Biden administration has said many times they're committed to the strength of the NATO alliance, especially in the wake of the war in Ukraine. So Turkey, has been pushed out of the F-35 program, but to maintain its air capabilities, it has requested this particular sale. But as you mentioned earlier, especially these two senators placed they expressed their hesitation about this sale. But now it looks like it's going to go through, and this is good for the U.S.-Turkey relationship. Of course, there are outstanding issues; they're not resolved. But this development shows that if the sale finally goes through, that the two administrations can work together, even despite their differences on a number of issues.
You've outlined quite well how important these jets are to Turkey, but are you confident that these amendments and this new Defense Act will actually make its way to President Joe Biden's desk and be actually signed?
Of course, in these things, there's always room for surprises. But as we know, Senator Menendez has had really harsh words in the past against Turkey for a number of reasons. We don't have too much time to discuss that, perhaps. But it is significant that especially him dropping this requirement that Turkey, there should be some conditions on this sale. It is significant. So I don't expect many surprises, and I think the Biden administration has worked behind the scenes. President Biden expressed several times that he would do his best to convince Congress. And at this point in time, it looks like he's been able to. Of course, there is the recent lifting of arms embargo to southern Cyprus. So that may have of course drew the ire of Turkey. Turkey complained that the balance that traditionally the United States has sought in its relationship with Greece and Turkey was being disturbed. But perhaps this F-16 sale will reassure Ankara that Washington is still committed to this, defense capabilities of both of its NATO allies, i.e., Turkey and Greece. But of course, this should lower the tensions, but it will also depend on how Greece proceeds in the weeks and months ahead about its attitude and approach to, to the disagreements between Turkey and Greece in the Aegean Sea in the Eastern Mediterranean. So not all the problems are gone, but I think this is a significant step, and it speaks to the success of Ankara in convincing Washington that, look, we are NATO allies. This is about our NATO capability, and you can't argue that it somehow has the potential to damage or undermine the NATO alliance in some way, because that was the argument Washington made about S-400s in the past and F-35 program. But F-16s, have been in use by Turkish military for decades now. So I think this is a good development for the United States and Turkey relationship. Again, surprises can always happen. Senators can change their minds and place holds again.
Of
But
course.
I think the Biden administration has been working behind the scenes.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Executive Director of SETA Foundation, Kadir Ustun, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.